Hello, Twitch! Artemu the Violet Wizard here, and today we're continuing Pokemon Gold. Last time we explored everything we can do for the time being at Goldenrod City and made our way over to Ecruteak City, our next destination in our Pokemon journey. So Ecruteak City actually has quite a lot for us to see. It's not as big as Goldenrod, but there's still a lot of attractions that we are going to go see in this town. Our team hasn't changed much since the last time. We still have Ruby, our trusty Geodude, Kale, the Bayleaf, Halberd, the Fearow, who evolved last time, and who I've actually drawn fan art for, as you can see on the left side of the screen. And of course we have the ever adorable Jean. Oh, she's so cute. So for this session, we're mainly going to be exploring Ecruteak City as well as the surrounding areas, just to get a feel for everything we can in this area, and then prepare to go into the gym. There's a path over to the east there you can take. We're not going to go there just yet, but maybe later. How may I help you? There are quite a lot of good items here. I think I want to buy some more Pokeballs. Plenty of healing items, so we don't need those right now. My Eevee evolved into an Espeon, but my friend's Eevee turned into an Umbreon. I wonder why we both were raising our Eevee in the same way. So that's actually kind of a hint about how to get Eevee's new exclusive evolutions. For the record, both of Eevee's new evolutions in this game, Espeon and Umbreon, are obtained by maxing out Eevee's friendship stat. However, it also depends on the time of day. If you evolve your Eevee during the day, you get Espeon. And if you evolve it during the night, you get Umbreon, which is pretty cool. Ecruteak Dance Theater. We actually heard a bit about this place earlier. Ah, youngster, you learn to dance like the Kimono Girls? If you go to the dance theater, an old man will give you something nice, I hear. This place was talked up quite a bit in our adventure, and it's definitely worth a visit. Not only are the Kimono Girls great dancers, they're also skilled at Pokemon. I always challenge them, but I've never even left a scratch. Lad, if you can defeat all the Kimono Girls, I'll give you a gift. That man's always with his Rhydon. Says he wants a Pokemon that can surf and dance. Is he trying to make a synchronized swimming Pokemon? Very interesting. The Kimono Girls are so beautiful, but they have to go through rigorous training. And they have to learn to follow customs before appearing in public. But if you love something, anything is possible. You have lovely Pokemon. May I see them in battle? So these are among my favorite trainers in the entire series. I really love the sprites for them, especially in Gen 4. We face Kimono Girl Naoko, who has a Flareon. So all the Kimono Girls use the various evolutions of Eevee. Man, just imagine finding these guys in like Gen 6 or 7 when there were like 8 evolutions. Man, that would be a treat. So Flareon is the Fire-type evolution evolved with a Firestone. It has very high attack and overall decent stats. The only problem with Flareon, really, is that Fire is a special type in this game, while Flareon has very high physical attack. So obviously it doesn't really have the stats that really back up its fire attacks, making it kind of awkward to use, but I still love it. It's so fluffy and cute. It's my personal favorite out of the evolutions. With that, Ruby gets to level 21. As you can see, these things give a lot of experience. Ooh, and we're learning Self-Destruct. It's a very powerful attack, but don't really know if I want it, though. It's very powerful, but it'll knock Ruby out. I don't really like using these kind of attacks, so no. Oh, you're very strong. That's 1 of 5. Still got quite a few battles to do here. Switch up to Kale. Since we dealt with the fire one, he should be pretty good. I always dance with my Pokémon. Of course, I also train them. Kimono Girl Sayo. She uses Espeon, the Psychic-type evolution. This thing has incredibly high special attack and speed. And in later generations, it's just so freaking good because it learns so many different attacks. It's easily one of the best out of all the evolutions. So if you want to go for a special sweeper, Espeon is definitely a good choice. But kind of going back to the Kimono Girls for a second, I really like what they do for them in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Instead of fighting them as soon as you get to Ecruteak, they incorporate the Kimono Girls very well into the main plot. Like, you encounter them all throughout your adventure, and it's kind of implied that they are watching you in order to gauge what kind of person you are to see if you're worthy of being able to meet either Lugia or Ho-Oh, depending on which game you're playing. And when you do finally fight the Kimono Girls after the 8th gym, it's just a really intense battle. You have to fight all the Kimono Girls in a single gauntlet without any breaks. It's a very intense fight. Really good test of your abilities. What do you got now, Mom? Guess she found me another item. Sure it'll be good. Let's move Kale out of here. And let's finally use Halberd. We haven't used much of him since he evolved, so this will be a good challenge. Kimono Girl Zuki. She uses Umbreon, the Dark-type evolution. This Pokemon plays very defensively. It has very high defense and special defense, very good HP, and it learns a lot of different status attacks. If you're looking for a solid tank, Umbreon is definitely a good choice. I don't have any Pokemon left. Sorry about that. Oh, you're a cute trainer. Would you like to battle? Sure thing. Kuni. She's got Vaporeon. Alright. So Vaporeon is quite the interesting evolution. It has the most HP out of all of them, good special attack and special defense, and is just a very solid attacker. It's got a lot of good moves, plus with its excellent HP and defenses, it is a very solid Pokemon, able to dish out a lot of damage. While also being able to take a lot of good hits. It's very solid overall. And that leaves one more to go. By process of elimination, Kimono Girl Miki has Jolteon. This Pokemon is all about speed, and it's a decent special attacker with a few interesting offensive moves. All around, Jolteon is very good if you want a very fast attacker. It's not very sturdy, but overall very good. And with that, we beat the last of the Kimono Girls. Again, I like what they do with them a lot more in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. They incorporate a lot more into the plot, which is just amazing. The way you battled, it was like watching a dance. It was a rare treat to see. Want you to have this. Don't worry, take it. And for that, we receive by far the best HM in the entire game. Surf deals a whopping 95 base damage for a single attack at this point in the game. If you chose Totodile as your starter, I highly recommend giving it this move. It's just amazing. It's really just so cool how out of all these generations, Surf has consistently been the best out of all of the different hidden machine attacks. It's just so good. Of course, in later gens, Surf has been downgraded to a TM that you only receive under very exclusive situations, like during post-game, which kind of makes it a bit lame that you don't get such a good move during the main story, but whatever. It's a small price to pay for not having to teach your Pokemon Cut or Rock Smash and all that crap. Yeah, I don't have a Pokemon that can learn Surf just yet. But later on, once I do get my 5th team member, I'm definitely going to teach it that. Because it is such a good move. Oh, man. Ecruteak used to have 2 towers, one each in the east and west. 2 towers, huh? 2 towers, 2 Pokemon, but when one burned down, both Pokemon flew away, never to return. The tin tower up ahead was built as a roost for flying Pokemon. Tin tower's off limits to anyone without Ecruteak Gym's badge. Sorry, but you'll have to leave. So we're not going to be able to explore the tin tower just yet, but we will want to remember that for later. I hear Pokemon are rampaging at the Lake of Rage. I'd like to see that. Is there really a Pokemon that big? If it exists, it must be powerful. This happened when I was young. The sky suddenly turned black. A giant flying Pokemon was blocking out the sun. I wonder what that Pokemon was. It was like a bird and a dragon. Very interesting. We might see it later in our adventure. The trainers here have secret motives. If you win, they may tell you some deep secrets about Ecruteak. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. In Crystal and Heart Gold and Soul Silver, you actually can't challenge the gym right away here. You have to visit a certain location in order to have access to it. But we're gonna save that for later. Ah, you're on an adventure with your Pokemon. Well, what's an adventure without treasure hunting? Am I right or am I right? I guess so. Good, you understand the true spirit of adventure. I like that. Take this with you. And for that, we receive the Item Finder. There are many items lying about that aren't obvious. Use Item Finder to check if there's an item on the ground near you. It doesn't show the exact spot, so you'll have to look yourself. Oh yeah, I heard there are items in Ecruteak's burned tower. So the Item Finder works a little different between each of the different games. And in this game, unfortunately, I think it's one of the weakest iterations of the Item Finder. When you use it, it simply tells you if there is a hidden item on the screen. Your character doesn't turn to face it. There isn't like a physical marker showing you where the hidden item is. It's kind of weak, so I don't really use it in this generation of the series. But in other games, it's definitely very good. Like, I think the Sinnoh version, where it's a Pokechap, and the Gen 5 iteration of the item finder are really good. And in Gen 7, they incorporate it into a ride Pokemon, which is pretty interesting. I do like using Stoutland to search for items. It's a very cool gimmick. That used to be a much taller tower, but it burned down in a fire. So this is the second tower that we heard about. Ecruteak City actually has a lot of lore behind it in the Pokemon mythos, which makes this area just one of the most important locations in all of Johto. Before you go in there, I highly recommend not using a grass type for this. Let's go with, send out Ruby, actually. Because once you walk in here, we got a battle. Oh, it's you. You want to get stronger, so you came for the legendary Pokemon that's supposed to be here. That's your story, right? Well, that's not gonna happen, because I'm going to get it. I'm gonna be the world's greatest trainer, so a legendary Pokemon would be perfect for me. Well, anyway, I'm getting tired of having a wimp like you always showing up. It's time to fight our rival once more. And apparently he wants the legendary Pokemon for himself. He leads the battle with Haunter, the evolution of Ghastly. This thing is very fast and powerful and learns a lot of status attacks, making it a very tricky Pokemon to fight. So that move that Haunter just used is pretty interesting. It's called Curse, and it works differently depending on what type of Pokemon used it. If any non-ghost type Pokemon uses Curse, it lowers the Pokemon's speed stat, but will raise its attack and defense, which is very good for tankier builds. But if a ghost type Pokemon uses Curse, that Pokemon will cut its HP in half, and in return, your opponent will continuously take damage until it gets switched out or the battle ends. It's a pretty unique attack that functions really differently depending on which Pokemon you use, making it a very cool attack. Also, a bit of fun trivia about the move is that until one of the later generations, like I think Gen 5, Curse is a special type that is not compatible with any of the other types in the game. It's simply listed as question mark, question mark, question mark, instead of being an actual type. However, in one of the later generations, it got retyped to Ghost, which is very fitting given its effects. Again, it's a really cool move with a lot of different effects. So after that Haunter, we now have to deal with Zubat. It's your standard poison flying type, very fast, can be a little tricky, but Jean handled that very well. So now we got Magnemite to deal with. Ruby is paralyzed, but she should be able to handle this thing. Magnemite, as I stated before, one of my favorite electric-type Pokemon. And my favorite steel-type in general. It's just so good. A lot of resistances, very high special attack and defense. It's a very solid Pokemon. Highly recommend it. So that attack I just used is Sonic Boom. It's an attack that always deals 20 damage, no matter what. This fight can actually be really tricky if you're not prepared for it, especially since the fight triggers immediately when you enter this place. Because Ruby's so weak, so we want to get you out of here. Let's go for Halberd. And of course, for his final Pokemon, he uses his starter. In my case, he has Quilava, but if you chose a different starter Pokemon, he can also use Bayleaf or Croconaw. And with that, we won the fight. Humph. This is why I hate battling wimps. There's no challenge in it. Ah, whatever. You would never be able to catch a legendary Pokemon anyway. I don't know, I kind of have a personal goal about catching legendary Pokemon whenever I do these streams, so whatevs. Boo on you, buddy. Let's go heal up, because he actually did a lot of damage to me. Again, that fight can be very tricky if you're not prepared for it. Between that Haunter, the Zubat, and the Magnemite, he can deal a lot of statuses to you. And then his starter Pokemon's just very strong. It's a decent challenge at this point in the game. But with that, we finally have access to the burned out tower. So there's some rocks here that can be destroyed using Rock Smash, which will also expose a lot of new paths for us in this area. I want to bring out the item finder just to see what's hidden here. I think I'm actually going to have to teach someone Rock Smash now. Thing is, Rock Smash is just a very weak attack, so it's not very good for battling, it's more for utility. The plus side, it does lower... defense, at least. Actually give it to Ruby, because she's not going to learn too many... Her moveset's not really going to change too much. Let's get rid of Tackle. So a Rock Smash, we can break apart these stones, blocking our path. There's quite a few trainers in here too, so you want to be prepared for that. Fortunately, Kale's not going to be good here because they all use fire types. Let's go with Halberd. Hey, I'm training secretly here. Don't embarrass me by looking. I don't have to. Your attire is doing that for you. So this guy's name is Dick. In Heart Gold and Soul Silver, they changed his name to Richard. Can't imagine why. I think that's the only time in the series that a trainer was actually named that. So, it's kind of cool. So right there we saw a Charmeleon, which is the evolution of Charmander. It's a very fast special attacker. Whoa! You okay there, buddy? I don't know what happened to him. Oh, man. He just lost all his color. Like, did Mr. Mime get to him? And no, I'm not talking about the Pokemon, I'm talking about the Powerpuff Girls villain, who had the ability to take color away from people. Man, that was a show I used to really like as a kid. I was actually kind of excited when I heard it was getting a reboot, but From what I've heard and seen, the reboot is not that good. Anyway, if we go through here, we meet another guy. My soul's on fire! I'll show you how hot it burns! At least this guy has a more sensible name of Ned. He's got a coughing. Neat. So the burned tower here is actually one of the few areas where you can find coughing in the wild. Overall, they're pretty decent if you want a poison type. You have good offensive and defensive stats. They can learn quite a few different attacks that you normally wouldn't expect, like electric and fire. So they're pretty good. And right there is Growlithe, which is overall an excellent fire type once you get it evolved. It's very fast, has great offenses, and can be surprisingly bulky. Overall, it's one of the best. And it's also gold exclusive. In silver, you get Vulpix instead. That we get another level up for Halberd. This guy didn't lose his color, which is very weird. Could somebody check that dick? It's not looking very good. And over here we find a burn heal. As the name suggests, it cures burn status. Now I believe where we want to go is that hole in the middle. Those black spaces on the floor are actually pits that you can fall through if you step on them. And in order to progress in this area, we want to go for the one in the middle of the room. Alright, we just take care of that Zubat. And by making it over here... So those Pokemon we just woke up are actually the legendary Pokemon that our buddy Silver was talking about. So those four Pokemon, wait, those three Pokemon I mean, are called Raikou, Entei, and Suicune. I actually talked about them a bit during my Leaf Green playthrough, but this is the game that they actually originated from. So because we awoke them down here, when we go out into Johto, there is a rare chance that we can actually encounter them when we go into tall grass. And at that point, we'll be able to catch them. Ooh, this is... Wow, that's a good find. Magmar's actually very rare in this area. Not gonna lie, I want to catch this thing. I don't know if I want to use it for my team, but... Magmar's still a really good Pokemon. Ow, stop that, you. But just going back to the Generation 2 legendaries. Yeah, we have a very rare chance of encountering them in the overworld now. They have a very low catch rate, and unfortunately, whenever you encounter them, they will run away the first chance you get. They were the introduction of the roaming legendaries that would be seen in later games. Overall, all of the legendary Pokemon are good to get, especially this early on because they are very high leveled at this point in the game. Ooh, Fire Punch. That's gonna do a lot of damage at this point in the game. Unfortunately, given how hard it is to catch the legendary Pokemon here, I don't think I'm going to be going for the legendary beast in this run. I went for it in Leaf Green because I knew I only had the option to catch one, and I could easily make the battles much easier using my Master Ball. But here it's going to be very tricky to do, so I figure I might as well not do it. But anyway, we caught Magmar. Do I want to name this thing? I wasn't intending to add Magmar to my team, just given how rare it is. I wasn't expecting to run into one here. But it is a very good Pokemon and would fit on the team nicely. The more I think about it, the more I do want to. It's very strong at this point in the game. It will still be a very solid Pokemon later on. I do have an idea for a name for this thing. Just give me a second. Given that we're in an area that dealt with a natural disaster, I think it's only fitting that I name this Pokemon, which is born in volcanoes, Pompeii. I don't know, I think it's a fitting name for it. Starts out with some very good moves, and look at those stats. Very solid special attack. Compared to the other team members. Yeah, that's very good. And this is mainly just comparing him at level 16. Once he's caught up to the others, his stats are going to be even better. Yeah, I'm actually very pleased with this. I was not anticipating running into a Magmar in this game, but it happened, and I'm quite pleased with this. Let's move Fire Punch up a bit more. That's good. Yep, so we'll start training him once we are done with this area. Gene. I think that's the first time one of my Pokemon actually fainted this run. So over there is an item that we cannot actually get at this point, because we cannot move that rock without a certain attack. So for now, let's just go. We can get that ball in the northwest corner, though. Let's go and do that. Kale grows to level 20. Very nice. Ah, poor Jean. Ruby goes to 20 free. It's very good. We're actually almost set to take on the gym at this point. Wait. Okay, so there is an item, I believe, over there. So let's fall down this hole. And yeah, we get an Ultra Ball. There's a Pokeball that actually works much better than the other balls that we got so far. We don't have the ability to catch them, well, to buy them just yet, but I highly recommend getting as many of these as you can later on, because they are very good items. And over here, we get another Burn Heal. Kind of ironic, considering this tower definitely needs some. Now, before we leave this place, I want to kind of go back into the backstory of the Pokemon that we encountered here. Damn, we can't hold anything. So another problem with the early games is that inventory space is very limited. Let's give this berry to someone. Actually, I need berries for later, so let's save that. Use Paralyze Cure on Pompeii. There. And right here, we get an HP up. This HP up is one of the vitamin items that boosts the effort values, or EVs, of a Pokemon. In this case, the HP up will boost the HP EVs by exactly 10, if I remember correctly. Kale's gonna be one of our main defensive Pokemon, so I think he deserves the extra HP. As we can see there, his HP has already shot up a bit. It's very good. Anyway, we're done with this area for now. We're gonna come back once we get Strength. But for now, we're done with the Burn Tower. But going back to the backstory about the legendary Pokemon, it said that hundreds of years ago, when the towers were new and were the roost to some very powerful Pokemon, one day a devastating storm occurred in Ecruteak City. A bolt of lightning struck what was known as the Brass Tower, and the tower was engulfed in flames. And within the burning tower, there were 3 nameless Pokemon that perished in the flames. Eventually, it started to rain, and the rain put out the flames. Seeing the devastated tower and the Pokemon that were killed in it, one of the legendary Pokemon, known as Ho-Oh, shine a golden light of many different colors upon the remains of the tower. And from the ashes of the tower and from the free Pokemon, 3 new creatures were created. Each one representing a different element that occurred in that night. So Raikou, the electric Pokemon, represents the lightning that struck the tower. Entei, the fire Pokemon, represents the flames that burn the tower. And Suicune, the water type, represents the rain that extinguished the fire. Of course, humans at the time were afraid of these Pokemon because of how powerful they are and their control over the elements, and so they attacked the Pokemon to try and suppress their power. And seeing how scared the humans were of them, the free Pokemon ran away, which is why the Pokemon are so cautious around people, that is why they will flee from you when you try to catch them. It's a really interesting piece of Pokemon backstory that is just really adds a lot of layers to this world and to the creatures in it. It's really good. I love it. So it is time to challenge the gym. I think we're gonna do fairly well here. What I want to do is give Pompey a bitter berry to hold, because this will be important for some of the fights ahead. I'm actually not too sure how well we're gonna do here, but let's go for it. Can you inflict any damage on our Pokemon? So the Ecruteak Gym specializes in Ghost-type Pokemon. Well, more like one specific Pokemon evolution family, because Ghost-types were not very common in this point in the series. In fact, in this game, there are only 2 Ghost families. It wasn't until much later on that Ghost-types became way more plentiful. They're actually one of my favorite types now, given the huge variety of them and all the different kinds of spirits and monsters they're based on. It's a really good typing now. But in these days, you're pretty much just seeing the Ghastly family. And that's pretty much all we're going to see in this gym. Which is going to make things a little monotonous here. Especially with a Pokemon pretty much employing all the same strategies. So that move the Ghastly just used then is called Mean Look. It's an attack that can actually be helpful for catching the legendary Pokemon that run away from you, because Mean Look prevents you, whatever Pokemon was affected by it, from escaping the battle. Which can be very helpful, especially in competitive play, if you predict that your opponent is going to try and switch out because they have a type disadvantage. So you can trap them in and then just damage them while they can barely do anything to you. It's a helpful strategy, not one that I particularly use, but it's a very cool one. I'm just loving seeing Pompey dominate these ghosts right now. His Ghastly do not have very high HP or defenses, and with Pompey being as strong as he is, he's just blowing through them so quickly. So the black space in this gym actually works very similar to the holes in the Burn Tower. There are spaces within the black floor where you can walk on, but other areas will be just holes that you fall through, and then you'll be sent back to the beginning of the gym. So it's kind of a puzzle here where you're trying to get across the floor and try to find the right path across. Kind of interesting, but it's not really that complex. Stop that Haunter. So once we clear out the trainers, we're definitely going to have to leave to restock our PP. I mainly decided to go in here now to give Pompey some extra experience. And of course, as I say very often, Ruby is going to be very helpful in this gym. I can't help it, man. Just Geodude is such a good Pokemon in Johto. Nice. So in most fire attacks, you can inflict the burn status on your enemy's Pokemon. Burn is a very interesting status ailment in that not only does it deal damage at the end of the afflicted Pokemon's turn, but it also cuts the attack stat in half. So it's a very useful status ailment for weakening very strong Pokemon and making it so that they can't do as much damage as they normally would. It's definitely a status that has seen a lot of use in competitive play, especially with moves like Will-O-Wisp and Scald. Being able to inflict burn is so much easier, and on a lot of different types of Pokemon that don't normally get fire attacks. So yeah, it's a very commonly used status. Has a lot of good applications, just very handy. So right there we saw Nightshade. It's an attack that only a few Pokemon learn. It deals damage equal to, I think it's the level of the target. So for Pompeii, it deals a solid 18 damage, or now it would do 19 damage because Pompeii just leveled up. Very nice. Guess that wasn't right. Oh well, we need to stock up on health and PP anyway. So let's go heal up at the center, and then we will finish up this gym. Oh geez. We entered the void again. Ah, man. That was crazy. Alright. Reeve Field, so let's head back into the gym. Ow. So basically, what you want to do in this gym is you want to just snake along between the trainers, using them as, like, markers in order to get through. I shall win. Also, it probably wasn't intentional, but I think the medium sprites in this game look hilarious. They're definitely treated a bit more respectful in the remakes, but in this game they just look goofy. Mediums obviously specialize mainly in Ghost and Psychic-type Pokemon. And often like the Channelers that we saw back in Leaf Green. Nice, we burned this one too. And it's just gonna kill itself with Curse. I just love seeing Pokemon use Curse to finish themselves off, like, save me the trouble, right? And one more to go. There we go. I lost! Yes, you did. And with that, we've reached the end of the gym. I think we should have a good time here. Have Ruby with Quick Claw. It's good. Give something else to you. What do I have right now? I guess I can give a Bitterberry to you. I highly recommend having a few Bitterberries here to counter confusion. because this is going to be a very status-heavy area. With that, let us save. Good of you to have come. Here in Ecruteak, Pokémon have been revered. It's said that legendary Pokémon will appear to the truly powerful trainers. I believe that tale, so I have secretly trained here all my life. As a result, I can now see what others cannot. Just a bit more. With a little more, I could see a future in which I meet the legendary Pokémon. You're going to help me reach that level. This is Morty, the leader of the Ecruteak Gym. A spiritualist who is one with ghost-type Pokémon, and who seeks to better himself in order to meet the legendary Pokémon of Johto. He starts off with a regular Ghastly. This thing is very fast, has a lot of status attacks, so it can be tricky, but we handle that very easily. Next up is Haunter. Like Ghastly, this thing is very fast and has a lot of status attacks. Hopefully Pompey should be able to two-hit this thing. Ooh, very good. Ooh, right there it has Hypnosis. So Morty's main strategy is to try and use Hypnosis to put you to sleep, allowing his ghost types to then attack you unimpeded while you are helpless against them. And he's going for the big guns now, so I think it's time to go to Ruby. Gengar is the final evolution of the Ghastly line. This thing is very fast and very powerful. While it doesn't have very good HP and defense, its sweeping potential is well known throughout the series. It is a very powerful Pokemon, and definitely one of the most popular. I really did not want it to Hypnosis, because I'm pretty sure this Gengar knows Dream Eater. I should have an Awakening somewhere. Hello? Okay, I don't. That's gonna be kind of awkward, because this thing has Dream Eater. Ugh. This is bad. This is bad. Jeez. Yep, that's how powerful Gengar is. It just wiped out Ruby in one hit. Guess I'll go with Halberd, since Halberd won't be affected by its stab attacks. And he's very fast, so this should be good. Again, it has the Hypnosis. There's not much I can do against that Hypnosis, so we're just gonna have to hang in there. That's not good. Come on, buddy. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have come in here as soon as I did, because we're kind of under-leveled for this fight, and that Gengar can be a real pain. We can paralyze this thing, that'd be good. No! Damn it. Gene, why? Ah, shit. If I have some revives, then... Yes, good. So I think if I can get Ruby back in the game, might be able to one-shot this thing. Okay, Kale, I need you to take some hits for me. Need you to take a hit while I heal up. Come on. Nice. Alright, let's try to soften him up with Razor Leaf. It's not going to do much damage because Gengar's part poison, but hopefully this is enough damage that we will be able to one-shot it with Magnitude. Yep, Kale's stuck in this fight now. Actually, I don't think Dream Eater has a lot of power points, so Gengar might have actually wasted it. In which case, that's good. At that rate, it should only have one attack it's able to use. In which case, let's set up Reflect. Because it'll be very good. Let's try to soften him up a bit more. Man, I don't know why it's missing so badly. I know Hypnosis is not that accurate, but I was landing him very fine before. And there's the Hypnosis. At least Kale should be defensive enough to take a few hits. Nope, still has Dream Eater. Come on, Kale. Just need you to hang in there a bit more. Okay. Ruby, I'm counting on you, girl. I need you to land this Magnitude. Yes? Come on! Magnitude 7! Come on! Oh, so close. Come on, girl. No. I still have my Magmar, so it's not all bad. I should have bought some more status healing items. Because that Hypnosis is such a pain. Come on, Ruby. It still has Dream Eater, so that's gonna kill. Yep. It's all up to Pompeii now. Come on, man. I know you're new to the team, but you have to beat this Gengar. Oh, Hypnosis again. No. Pompeii, no. Ah, jeez. Lesson learned. I need to stock up on more items, and I need to train my Pokemon. That was just embarrassing. Alright, so we're gonna take Mordion later. But now let's see what my mom gave me. Super Potion. I will need that. Let's deposit some of these other items we're not gonna need. Not really gonna need those X defense. For that. Ooh, I should have given the charcoal to Pompeii. That would be nice. So I'm definitely gonna buy some Awakenings. Let's buy a couple of these. Alright, so we need to go train the team before we go fight Morty again, so... let's say we go explore more of Johto. There's nothing stopping us from just moving on. Just that we need to beat Morty in order to access more of the map. But there's still a lot we can explore. So we go over here, we find Route 38. This is the route leading over to Olivine City. There's actually a lot we can do here in a... there's a lot of trainers, there's a lot of different Pokemon we can catch. So it's definitely a good area to explore. Hello, buddy. This is Sailor Harry. He's got a Wooper. So this thing is water ground. It'll be a good fight for Kale. Very good. Your skill is world class. Thank you. All kinds of people around the world live happily with Pokemon. Amen to that, bro. Speaking of which, I don't know if you know, but there's actually been a hashtag going around on Twitter called Rhymesona, which is kind of based on the film Detective Pikachu, which has a lot of people living together with Pokemon in Rhyme City. And so a lot of people have been designing their own personas about how they'd imagine themselves in the Pokemon world, and I kind of drew a piece based on that. Personally, I'd imagine if I was in the Pokemon world, I'd be a Pokemon breeder. Because I think that would be a very fun profession to have, taking care of all kinds of Pokemon. Just being able to spend time with them, and caring for them. I think it'd be a good profession. Anyway, this girl clearly has great taste in Pokemon, because she's using Flaffy, which is one of my favorites. And she's got Psyduck. I did consider Psyduck for my team, but it's not really one of the better water types. It's fine. It being able to learn Psychic attacks is pretty good, but there are already quite a few water Psychic Pokemon, so... I know, it just feels kind of outclassed. I do really like Psyduck, though. Its evolution is pretty cool, but I don't really need it. Let me try something I learned today. Now, this guy, I believe, has something kinda unique. Schoolboy Chad. He has Mr. Mime. Another one of my personal favorites, as could be seen from my Leaf Green playthrough where I used a Mr. Mime on my team. Overall, Mr. Mime is a very good Psychic-type Pokemon. Having a good special attack and special defense, a large variety of status moves that can help support your team in a lot of battles. It actually has pretty decent type coverage, especially in later games. They're kind of rare, but if you can find one, I definitely recommend using it. Hello there. Hi, aren't you a cute trainer? May I see your Pokemon? This is Beauty Valerie. And she's got a Hoppip. I didn't really talk about this too much, but Hoppip are grass-flying type Pokemon. they're kinda weak. All their stats are just below average, except for speed. They do learn a lot of status moves, but so do a lot of other better grass-type Pokemon. I mean, if you want a Pokemon that is guaranteed to outspeed and inflict statuses on your enemies, I guess Hoppip can be good. I just don't really see much use in them because of their overall very low stats. One thing I will give them credit for is that I used the Hoppip line in Colosseum, and it actually works very well in that game due to the double battle format. You can have Skiploom quickly inflict status ailments on your opponents and provide support while you have a main attacker on the other side of your team. So it works very well in that game, I just don't think it works very well in Gold and Silver. Hello, Rattata. Just as a tip, if you're having trouble with Morty, catching a Rattata or its evolution Raticate would actually be very helpful. Because the Rattata line can learn Dark-type attacks. I don't necessarily know if they learn them in this game, but definitely in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, I recommend using Rattata just to make Morty a bit of an easier fight. What do you got now, Ralph? He keeps telling me about those Quillfish. And apparently I've done some research and I can go there and catch a Quillfish, but I don't really want one for my team. Its stats just aren't what I'm looking for. Which is a shame because I do kind of like Quillfish. It's a very doofy looking Pokemon, but in a good way. Hello, Toby. It's got Doduo. So Doduo is a normal flying type Pokemon just like Pidgey and Spearow, but Doduo is a little bit different. It's a little bit stronger and faster. It's overall a very solid, normal flying type. They're a bit hard to get in Johto, but I definitely recommend them. They're very good for what they are. Very nice. Well done, Gene. He's got more Doduo. Very good. I feel like just flying away now. Sure thing, buddy. So we get a berry from this tree over here. Just a heads up, you'll want to stock up on as many berries as you can. Just plain, ordinary berries. The reason why is not going to be that apparent right now, but it is very helpful, trust me. Route 39. So we got a new route over here. Hello there. Let me see what your Pokemon are capable of. I believe this guy's a Psychic. Yup. It's got a Slowpoke. Very good choice. Having Pompeii out here is not a good choice. Let's go with Kale. Man, just thinking back about that Morty battle, if I actually switch back to using Ruby during those turns when Gengar kept missing Hypnosis, we could have won that fight. It's kind of disappointing, but we are going to come back to that fight much stronger and more prepared. Ooh, it's got Body Slam. Body Slam's actually a really good normal type attack. It's only learned by a couple of Pokemon, but it's definitely helpful because it has a chance of inflicting paralysis. Definitely recommend using it when you have the chance. You know, Pokemon have different abilities. People are like that too. Everyone's different potential. Good to know. Go over here, we find a mint berry. I believe the mint berry... Yep, the mint berry cures sleep. That will actually be very helpful to have for dealing with Morty. As we can see here, there's a little farm for Miltank here, which is pretty cool. Again, it's a nice way of incorporating these Pokemon into the world by having a farm raising all these Pokemon. Great, there's an item somewhere on the screen, and I found it. Good. So that is a nugget. It's a very rare item that sells for a lot of money. It has no other uses. Let's go check out the farm. Our milk even goes out of Kanto, so if our own Miltank won't give us any milk, we're in trouble. My Miltank ain't giving me milk no more. This here farm's got famous milk. Most everyone wants a drink. He'll give me lots of milk if I feed it lots of berries, I reckon. So this was what I was alluding to with the berries. Moo Moo is sick. She needs lots of berries. Its cry is weak. So let's give the berries that we have to Moo Moo. We only had a few berries, sadly, but... So this is what I was alluding to. You want to have a lot of berries so you can give them to this Miltank. The reason why isn't apparent right now, but it's definitely something you want to remember. And actually, in the time between streams, I'm definitely gonna try and grind up as many berries as I can so that we have enough to give to Moo Moo. Which will also mean backtracking to some other routes in order to pick berries from those trees. But shouldn't be too bad. There's a lot of berry trees in Johto, so it's actually pretty easy to accumulate enough you need. But for now, let's keep moving. Would you mind if I bragged about my Pokemon? Would you mind if I beat you in battle? Hello, Derek. He's got a Pikachu, of course. Makes sense that a Pokefan would use Pikachu, considering just how dang popular this Pokemon is. I mean, it's got an entire movie based around having a Pikachu as the secondary character. You're gonna begin to brag. What now, Mom? While shopping today, I saw this adorable doll, so I bought it with your money, sorry. It's in your room. You'll love it. So this is a feature that gets expanded upon in later games, but we have the ability to decorate our room. And the only way to get dolls in this game is just to let your mother save your money, and when you accumulate enough money, she has a chance of buying these dolls that you can put in your room. We'll be seeing a bit more of that much later on, especially once we have easier access to our town, because walking all the way to New Bark Town just to check out our room is a little annoying. But later, once we get a certain hidden machine, we're going to be able to go home very quickly, so we'll definitely want to keep that in mind. There's grass here, but not really too much I want. Hello, buddy. I just got back to Olivine, so how about a Pokemon battle? Sailor Eugene. He's got a Poliwhirl. Poliwhirl is the evolution of Poliwag. It's overall a very solid water type with good defenses and offenses. Starting from Generation 2, Poliwhirl has the option of evolving into one of two Pokemon. If you use a Leaf of Water Stone on it, Poliwhirl will evolve into the more offensively based water fighting type Pokemon Poliwrath. However, if you trade it while it's holding a specific item, Poliwhirl is able to evolve into the more special based Politoad. No matter what your choice, they're both very solid water-type Pokemon. Right now, we got a Raticate to deal with. It's the evolution of Rattata. It's very fast, has decent attack power. Could be useful. Just not to me right now. So now we're learning Synthesis. This will allow Kale to recover health without the use of an item. The only thing is, Kale's moveset doesn't really... Well, if I didn't have Cut, I would definitely teach this to you. But with Poison Powder and Reflect... Actually, we don't really need Poison Powder too much. It could be helpful for weakening some Pokemon, but at this point, there's only a few more Pokemon I want to catch in this run, and Poison Powder's not going to be that helpful for them. Alright, let's get rid of Poison Powder. Synthesis will be helpful. It'll help us save on healing items, which will be very good. Now, Krabby here is a Water-type Pokemon that specializes mainly in physical attacks, which is kind of a problem since Water is a special type in this game. Starting around Gen 4 is when you really want to use Krabby, because that's when it really gets to take advantage of some good moves. I mean, it's still okay here, just not especially great. Arrgh! My Pokemon were caught and raised overseas. They're my companions on those long voyages. Good for you. You definitely have a solid team, buddy. There, our levels are looking much better now. So we should be prepared to go back to the Ecruteak Gym. Just one more thing I want to do before then. That thing, yeah, it's a Pokegear, right? Wow, that's cool. So by taking down that road, we've finally arrived in Olivine City. It's a coastal settlement that's almost all the way to the west of Johto. And there's quite a lot of different things here to see, so let's go check them out. Uh-oh. You again? There's no need to panic. I don't bother with wimps like you. Speaking of weaklings, the city's gym leader isn't here. Supposedly taking care of a sick Pokemon at the lighthouse. Boo-hoo! Just let sick Pokemon go! A Pokemon that can't battle is worthless. Why don't you go train at the lighthouse? Who knows, may make you a bit less weak. Man, what a jerk. No wonder they based Paul after him. This really gets under your skin. Ugh. if we talk to this guy... Yep. This guy will give you the Good Rod. It is a very helpful upgrade from our old rod that allows us to catch a lot more Pokemon, and at much higher levels. So basically, this is going to be a very helpful tool for us catching some water Pokemon. My Butterfree came from my boyfriend overseas. It carried some mail from him. Wanna know what it says? Let's see. Nope, it's a secret. And I think Olivine has some new items too. Yes, we can buy Hyper Potions here. These restore 200 HP and are quite expensive. You can also get Super Repels here, which keep wild Pokemon away, as long as you're higher level than them, for a lot more than regular Repels. So that's a very good... It's a good reason to stop on by Olivine, just from them having so many good items here. Wonder what's over here. Hi, I'm looking for this Pokemon. If you have Krabby, would you trade it for my Voltorb? I do not have Krabby, sadly. And what do you have to say? Whenever I get in trouble, Daddy always scares me. Along the way to Cianwood, there are 4 deserted islands. Bad kids are taken to the islands as punishment. Wow, that's kind of harsh, don't you think? Hello, laddie. The sea is sweet. Sing with me. Yo-ho, blow the man down. No. Let's go heal up. We did take a few hits on the way over here, so... Sailors are really generous. One taught my Pokemon strength. Now it can move big boulders. Very good. Pokemon get more friendly if you spend time with them. Good to hear. There's a person in Cianwood City across the sea. I heard him bragging about his rare Pokemon. Well, maybe we'll check this guy out, huh? And over here we got a restaurant. Crossing the sea? Then listen up. There are whirlpools on the way to Cianwood. Your Pokemon must know a special move to get over the whirlpools. Ha! Your Pokemon sure like lightweights. They don't have the power to move boulders aside. Here, use this and teach them strength. You'll need Goldenrod's gym badge to use that outside battles. And for that, we receive the Hidden Machine for Strength. It's a pretty strong normal type attack that allows us to move aside boulders. It's actually required for continuing our adventure, which is kind of awkward, but whatever. Hello there. Although you can't see it from here, Cianwood is across the sea. So apparently we've got some more areas to explore once we get the ability to use Surf. But for now, I think it's time we head... Well, we don't want to go back to Ecruteak just yet, because there's still more to explore. If we take this path over here at the docks... How many rods do you have? Different rods catch different Pokemon. Uh-huh. We don't want you to fall into the sea, so you're not allowed in. Shelder are easy to catch here. They're kind of rare elsewhere. Shelder, huh? You might want to remember that for later. But now let's see what's over yonder. Dark roads are dangerous at night, but in the pitch black of night, the sea's even more treacherous. Without the beacon of the lighthouse to guide it, no ship can sail. So we heard about this place earlier. This is the Olivine Lighthouse. It's actually something of a mini dungeon. There's a lot of trainers here, and a few items too, so we'll definitely want to go through here. In the past, Pokemon used to light the sea around Olivine at night. The lighthouse was made in honor of those Pokemon. So we're getting a bit more lore about what happens in the Johto region. So before they had lighthouses, they used Pokemon in order to light the coastline, which is pretty cool. I feel like the Johto games are when they really start the world building with the Pokemon games. Like, they put a lot more emphasis on the world and human-Pokemon relations in this point of the series, which I think is really good. Now here we got the evolution of Hoot Hoot, Noctowl. Quite intimidating looking, but it's not really that good. I mean, it is cool that it learns a lot of psychic attacks, and it is very bulky. As you can see how well it took a Thunder Shock from Jean. It's very good HP and special defense. It's not really the best battler, but it can still be helpful. Come on, Jean. You can do this. Very good. And that would take care of Alfred. And what do we have here? Men of the sea are always spoiling for a good fight. Sailor Huey. I don't think I've said this before, but the Sailor Trainer classes tend to use water and fighting Pokemon. This is not a good spot for Ruby. No, sir. Let's go for Kale. Very good. And you got Poliwhirl. While we have some time just exploring this lighthouse, I figure I might as well talk about some stuff that's been going on lately. Because yesterday, I actually had an appointment at the dentist to get a filling put in. It actually went pretty well. My mouth's not really in much pain right now, and I'm just taking it easy. Jeez, this guy is a bowl of sunshine. Yeah, I had a pretty good time yesterday, and also got to hang out a bit with my folks after the appointment, so that was nice. In other news, I've also been checking out some stuff on Netflix. Like, there's this new show that came out recently called Tuca and Birdie. It is a weird show. Like, it's an adult comedy that's mainly geared towards women, and since both of the main characters are female, and they're both birds, one's a toucan, stuff, but it is a pretty ridiculous show. Like, it has more grounded moments, but it's just has so much silly stuff going for it. It's a very, very off-the-wall show. Also, there's a lot of boobies. So, yeah. I kind of like it. Probably gonna see some more of it in the future. It's good that Ruby's getting so much experience right now, because she definitely needs it. She's going to be one of my main damage dealers against Morty, and she's currently level 24. In one more level, she's going to evolve, which will be very helpful. Especially if we can get her evolved before the gym rematch. Is this kind of like the moments that Ash goes through when he loses at a gym battle? Just trying to improve himself and learn from his mistakes so that he can do better next time. We've all probably had those kind of moments in our lives. I travel the world to train my Pokémon. I wish to battle with you. Well, then I thank you for the privilege. Hello, Preston. Hello, Growlithe. It's actually awkward, but it's good experience for Ruby. Come on, Ruby. Eat! Stop that. Alright, I guess Halberd can take care of this thing. So, Roar is kind of an interesting attack. In wild battles, it automatically ends the battle by scaring away the opposing Pokemon. In trainer battles, it causes you to switch out whatever Pokemon is out for another one. So it's a cool move, not really one that I particularly use. It is helpful in later games that introduce entry hazards like spikes and toxic spikes and stealth rock in order to deal some additional damage to opponents. And I know that at least one of the trainer battles in the series takes advantage of those kind of strategies. I'm not going to say which one due to spoilers, but it's an interesting battle. Hello there. Jasmine is the city's gym leader. I mean to bring her back with me. Nobody better get in my way. So the people in Olivine seem to really respect Jasmine, as they should, because gym leaders are very important in the Pokemon world. But it's also kind of nice how the people here really seem to idolize and look up to her, and also have a great deal of respect to the Pokemon she's friends with. Because as we heard a bit from Silver, there's a Pokemon that lights the lighthouse that appears to be sick right now, and Jasmine appears to be concerned with its well-being and is trying to help it feel better. So, until we are able to deal with this, we cannot challenge the Olivine Gym. Which is probably for the best, because we are very underleveled for that fight. What is it this time, Ralph? Want a battle? I'm not gonna be a repeat of the last time we met. I'll be around Route 32. So this is another reason you'll want to register people into your phone, because you can also challenge them to battles. It's kind of vague when you have the option to fight them, but it's definitely a good idea to accept these numbers, because you can get extra experience and also get some items from them, which can be helpful. Good work, Gene. Come on. Good work, girl. I can't manage a smile either. Oh well. Sorry, bro. Yeah, I think that might be the required path. So we get TM34 here. Not sure what that is. Ah, Swagger. So Swagger's an interesting move. If you use it, you confuse the opponent, but you also raise their attack stat by 2 stages. So it's kind of a double-edged sword where you're making your opponent stronger, but at the same time they have a chance of inflicting confusion damage on themselves, and because of their higher attack stat, they will deal more damage to themselves. It's a pretty interesting strategy, and in later generations, when you combine it with abilities and items to get rid of confusion, you can lead to some strategies where you boost your other Pokemon's attack stat and don't have to worry about the confusion, which is very handy for some battles. So it definitely has its utility. I'm not really a big fan of it. Let's take out this Spearow. Or a Fearow. Right. That's a Spearow. And now Pompey's level 24. It's so amazing how Pompey's levels have gone up so quickly. I'm really glad I've added Pompey to the team. I think he fits very nicely with our dynamic. Just wasn't expecting to encounter a Magmar. I actually plan to use a Pokemon that we're not going to encounter until much later as the final member of our team, but it's very lucky that we managed to get this Magmar when we did. I mean, it kind of shakes up my original plan, but I'm still very thankful I got him. Hello there. Sailors are both kind and strong. How about you? Well, I don't mean to brag, but I think I am a pretty decent person. Terrell. Come on, Halberd. There we go. You're both kind and strong. Thank you. Every time I come back to Olivine, I visit the gym. The gym leader's Pokemon types change without me noticing. Fascinating. And with that, we get a Ether. Very good. That will store power points. Hello there. I want to battle Jasmine, but she's not up to it now. So how about you? Eh, fine. So this is Ernest. I wonder if he's gonna save Christmas. Just kidding. Got a Machop here. That could be... Nope, that's fine. Ah, thank you, Halberd. You're such a good bird. Ooh, Poliwhirl. Let's go for Jean. Thunder Shock. Very good. Let's let Halberd finish this off. And we get a Great Ball. Nice. I'm very pleased with our levels right now. We're almost on par with that Gengar. So we should almost be ready to take on the gym at last. Hello. This Pokemon always kept the sea lit at night, but it suddenly got sick. It's gasping for air. I understand that there's a wonderful pharmacy in Cianwood, but that's across the sea, and I can't leave Amphi unattended. May I ask you to get some medicine for me, please? Its breathing is terribly labored. So now we have our new mission. In order to challenge Jasmine, we need to gather medicine at the Cianwood Pharmacy. But in order to get to Cianwood, we need to cross the sea. And in order to cross the sea, we need to beat Morty. I think it's time that we finally head back to Ecruteak. Just want to take those holes down there as an easy shortcut. That takes us all the way back to the bottom. Let's heal up because we're definitely going to need the levels. And as we're going back, if I remember correctly, there are some people that you'll want to register into your Pokegear. So I think you want to register Derek. I'll check later to see if you actually need him. But what you definitely want to talk to is Chad up here. These guys will notify you when there are rare Pokemon appearing in abundance in these areas. But now, it's finally time. Before we do this, I want to give Ruby this mint berry that we found. Because that will be very helpful for the upcoming fight. While we're at it, let's sell this nugget. It's taking up inventory space, and we just need to sell it. The rare candy we have is also useful. It will automatically raise the level of one Pokemon by 1. I'll save that for later. What I tend to do in these games is save my rare candies until I absolutely need them later on. I want to go here. So we got more awakenings, we got some healing items. We should do well here now. Alright. It's now or never. Amphi's life is depending on us. We have to defeat Morty. Hey Morty, how's it going? Hey, have you seen Rick? Speaking of which, I'm very happy to hear that Rick and Morty's coming back at the end of the year. It's one of my favorite shows, so I'm very excited to see it back. So once again, we have to deal with Morty and his ghosts. Just like last time, he's leading the fight with Ghastly. It takes itself out. Nice, you give Halberd some extra experience. Right, Haunter. We'll want Ruby to come in later, so let's go with Pompeii. He's one of our best damage dealers at this point, so this will be a good option. Punch. Ooh, so close. Oh, damn you. Right, this is why we bought Awakenings. Let's wake you up. He's going for Nightshade. So I'll do a solid 24 damage to us. Actually, that did 21. I guess Nightshade is based on the user's level in this game. Alright, sending out Gengar now. Alright, Ruby. You have a mint berry, so you can cure yourself from at least one hypnosis. Please don't fail me now. Yes! Magnitude 8, come on! Yes! Oh, that feels so good! Sweet, sweet catharsis. And his last Pokemon is Haunter. Again. Oh, I'm so happy right now. What a way to end today's stream. Not only winning this gym battle after failing the first time, but also Ruby's level 25. Very good. I'm not good enough yet. Alright, this badge is yours. Ruby is evolving. Which means I got 2 bits of fan art to do after this. Ruby has evolved into Graveler. It's a bigger and much stronger version of Geodude. And we get the Fog Badge for defeating Morty. By having Fog Badge, Pokemon up to level 50 will obey you. Also, Pokemon that know Surf will be able to use that move anytime. I want you to have this too. We also get TM Furdy. It's Shadow Ball. It causes damage and may reduce special defense. Use it if it appeals to you. This is actually a move that the Gengar would have used, but we never got a chance to see it. Shadow Ball is actually a very good attack. It's one of the strongest ghost types in this point in the series, and it can be learned by a lot of different Pokemon. So you'll definitely want to choose which Pokemon learns it carefully. There's a lot of good options. I'm probably not going to teach it right away, but let's see who can learn it. Nobody. Alright. So yeah, that's definitely something we'll want to take care of later. For now, let's give the Quick Claw back. Oh, that went so much better. And Ruby is looking so much better now that she's evolved. Just look at those stats. Just very high attack and defense. Just so good. Woo, Hayden, you did great! I was cowering in the corner out of pure terror. Alright, with that, we have finally finished up everything we can do in Ecruteak City, at this point in the game. We could technically go over to the Tin Tower now that we've gotten the Fog Badge, but we're actually going to save that for a little while longer. There's not anything really important we can do over in the Tin Tower just yet. While we're here, I think it's time we test out our Good Rod. Because I think we need to get ourselves prepared in order to access the areas to the south of Olivine. Plus, we need to get to Cianwood so that we can help cure Amphi and continue the story. So for that, we're going to need a Pokemon that can learn Surf. Not you, Magikarp. Not you. Get out of here. Magikarp, I said, go away. You are not what I am looking for. By the way, unlike with the old Rod where you can only catch level 5 Pokemon, with the Good Rod, all the Pokemon you encounter are level 20. So it's definitely useful in that regard. That's what I am looking for. So let's weaken this Poliwag a bit. Why not? Let's use this Lure Ball that we got so long ago. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's supposedly supposed to work well on Pokemon you catch with a fishing rod, but the Apricorn Balls do not exactly work as they're intended to in this game. If this was Gen 4, however, they would work as they are intended. With that, we caught ourselves Poliwag. Poliwag, the tadpole Pokemon, because it's inept at walking on its newly grown legs, it always swims around in water. Nope, I am not gonna name you. Oh, hey Chad, what's up? Want a battle? I'm not going to be a repeat of last time we met. Okay. So, as I was alluding to, I need a Pokemon that can learn Surf in order to progress the story. I caught this Poliwag in order to help us because nobody else in the team can learn Surf. I am not adding Poliwag to the team. The Pokemon that I do intend to add to the team, we will be seeing a lot later. And by later, I mean next stream. Actually, while we're here, we can't go grab that item now that we have Strength. I wonder if Poliwag can learn this. It cannot. I guess we'll give it to Pompeii. We don't need Leer, so let's get rid of that. Let's go get us that item. Hello, Raticate. I almost forgot you could actually be encountered here. Come on, Pompeii, you gonna let this rat pick on you in your own house? So you want to drop down this hole. And there's this rock that we could not move before. Now that we have Strength, we can push aside these large boulders. And we get TM20. And this TM contains Endure. Endure's kind of an interesting attack, not one that I particularly like. It makes it so that when you use Endure on the same turn where you would have taken an attack that would have knocked out your Pokemon, Endure will make it so that you always hang on with 1 HP. It can be helpful in some situations, I just don't really think it's all that good. But anyway, let's go make our way back to Olivine City. Because we've got an ocean to explore, now that we have the ability to surf. And I think once we get to Olivine, that's going to be where we're calling it for today. So, in the next session, we are going to explore the sea past Olivine. We are going to finally catch the 6th member of my team. And then we are going to see what awaits us over in Cianwood. So next time in Pokemon Gold, we will be continuing our adventure by exploring the world beyond Olivine. Until then, have a good day and take care.